Test, track, trace. Test, track, and trace. Hello there, darlings, and welcome back to my channel. It is Dr. Cynthia here again, and I'm here to bring you more coronavirus news, because what else is there to talk about if it's not coronavirus? So today I want to talk about the new government initiative that is the Test, Track and Trace initiative. If you all remember, at the start of March and April, when stuff was going down, we realized that countries like Germany, South Korea, as well as Singapore weren't really getting the coronavirus infection rates that we're getting in the UK. And the reason for this is because they've really locked into contact tracing. So what contact tracing is that they're able to trace people that have been in contact with other people that have tested positive for coronavirus. And now that is what the UK is trying to emulate. So a bit of background. The government has been trialing this in the Isle of Wight for the last few weeks, and it's been shown to be quite successful over there. So they've decided to make it go live for the rest of the country. Now, how it's going to work is that it's all voluntary and it requires a bit of participation, because we know that when you try to make people do things, it just doesn't really work out. So at the moment, it's all voluntary. So what happens is that you download the app. So you get the app, you download it, and if you do get symptoms, you put your symptoms into the app. Now, what happens is that you then get sent a coronavirus test kit. Whilst you are waiting for your test kit, you need to self-isolate. And everyone else in your household also needs to self-isolate for 14 days. So you get your test kit, it gets posted to you, and you do the test on yourself at home. I've done the test twice now. It is absolutely horrible. You get this very long piece of cotton bud and you have to swab the back of your throat and the back of both nostrils. It's gross, but it needs to be done. So you have to swab yourself and you have to make sure that it's done properly. Then what happens is that you send the swab kit back and wait for your test result. It usually takes about 48 hours, and whilst you are waiting for the result, you have to self-isolate, and everyone else in your household self-isolates. The test result comes back. If it's negative, Bob's your uncle. No one needs to do anything. You can just go about your business and carry on living your normal life. However, if it is positive, you then need to self-isolate for 7 days from the date of your positive test. And everyone else, if they don't develop symptoms, need to self-isolate for a total of 14 days. Now, what happens is that when you download the app and everyone else downloads the app, there's a Bluetooth connection. Okay, so if you then test positive, what happens is that because of the Bluetooth connection that you've had with people with close contact over the last 28 days, anyone that you've had close contact with via that Bluetooth connection will get alerted that somebody that they've been in contact with over the last 28 days has tested positive for coronavirus. It's all anonymous, so no one knows who was tested positive, but it alerts that person that somebody that they've been in close contact with has tested positive. And if they then develop symptoms, they can get tested essentially, or they can choose to self-isolate. Now, the reason that this is happening is because we all need to get back to a form of normality. We cannot stay cooped up in our houses forever. There has to be some sense of normality. People need to go back to school. People need to go back to work. People need to go to day parties. People need to have barbecues. What I'm trying to say is that we need to get back to a sense of normality. One, you can get tested pretty efficiently. And two, anyone that you've been in close contact with can then self-isolate, and in doing so can limit the transmission of the disease. So if that transmission is limited, the R number remains below 1. So what we're trying to do is get that R number to 0.5 or below. But that R number remains below 1, and that transmission is essentially reduced. So that's the whole point of the test, track, and trace system. The government has put a lot of effort into these. They've hired 25,000 tracers who are meant to monitor the contact and alert people so that everyone is protected. Now, the main thing to remember is that this does not replace social distancing. It doesn't replace social distancing. This is an addition to social distancing so that that R number can really stay below 1. We all need to carry on doing what we are doing, which is carry on social distancing, listening to the instructions. And really and truly, I think the British public have been tremendous. Except for a few people, I think they genuinely have been tremendous and really resilient in listening to the instructions. We've all been at home now for about 2.5 months. It takes a toll, but I think we've all done so well and we've really seen a drastic change. This has gone live already, but the app itself isn't quite live yet. And when it is, do encourage everyone to download the app so that we can all get back to a sense of normality sooner rather than later. If you have any questions about the system, I am happy to answer any questions. Just drop a comment down below and I will answer any questions that you have. Continue to stay safe. We're doing so well and we will definitely get through this together.